The Wild Coast is one of the most fascinating regions of the Flness, and I want to talk about it today on Greyhawk Grognard. The Wild Coast is a fantastic region of the Flness from a gaming point of view. Um, if you recall in the original P1 Village of Hamlet, the adventurers that are going to the village are said to be coming from the Wild Coast, and it has a reputation of being kind of this birthplace of adventurers for many years. It just keeps cranking out famous adventurers because of something in its nature, because it's so wild, because it's so independent. And I want to read a little bit, not the whole thing, but a little bit of the description from the original gold box. This was also in the folio, of course. Um, The Wild Coast remains a free territory comprised of petty nobles, robber barons, guild-held towns, fishing and forest villages, freebooters, mercenaries, and displaced persons of all sorts. This is due to the remote and isolated position it holds, its lack of resources, and the fact that it has never been a desirable position strategically. So it's just kind of a there place taking up space, which is kind of a nice cool thing. It's actually right. It's right here, right there on the map behind me. Um, so it has this reputation, and there's five major towns, six if you include Hardby, which is ruled by women at the top of at the northern edge of it. Um, and it has this just kind of wild devil may care reputation. Well, there was a lot of dungeons and adventures from Dungeon Magazine that are set in there, and it's kind of a perfect region to set up as a campaign. Rob Kuntz, I know, has an unpublished manuscript on it, which I would love to see someday, Rob, if you ever want to publish it. So it's just a great time. So naturally, the Greyhawk Wars ruined it. Which is, I don't hate the Greyhawk Wars, but this is one of the things that kind of annoys me, because at the end of the Greyhawk Wars we have the Empire of the Pomarge, led by Turash Mak, the half orc former slave lord guy who basically takes over the whole Pomarge, and leads a crusade to attack the humans in the Wild Coast, and then he goes west into Ulick and expands out in all directions, and it's basically a big threat from 585 on. In reaction to this, the city of Greyhawk expands its own influence into the two remaining towns, Narwhal and Safeton. They're in the northern part of the Wild Coast, and they establish garrisons there over the next few years in order to kind of keep Tarashmak and the humanoids at bay. Because that's basically a huge threat to the city of Greyhawk. If you've got this big army of humanoids coming up, along the coast from the south, you don't want that. You want to be able to secure that border. They also have they expand out their borders in the gnarly forest, and they go to the southeast towards Hardby and the Aber Als and the Bright Desert, and they go into the Cairn Hills. So basically, what used to be the city of Greyhawk is now the domain of Greyhawk, and they've de facto taken over Hardby and Narwhal, Safeton and Narwhal. Because in the southeast, of course, you have the Bright Empire with the renegade mage, setting up his kingdom there. So it's just basically, Rary the Mage. So it's basically, a semi-defensive thing, but also, of course, they're gaining a lot of things. But in the process of this, the Wild Coast gets shrunk down to just those two towns in the northern half of the thing. And within a few years of that, by the time we get to the adventure begins, which is set in 591. They have completely taken over the northern part of the Wild Coast. So the Wild Coast is pretty much gone at this point. Um, it goes from spanning five different towns along the whole stretch of the Woolly Bay to just two, and then Greyhawk just kind of formally takes it over, and that's the end of it. Which is a pity, because the towns are still there, but adventuring in a land that's run by orcs is going to be kind of a weird proposition from a campaign point of view. But you have a lot of famous adventurers who've come from there. I think if I might be wrong, but I want to say that most of the adventurers in Gary's campaign originally were said to have come from the Wild Coast. So it's like that mother of adventurers kind of place. But alas, it is not to be. So by like I say, after the wars, it kind of gets diminished, and then within a few years, there is no more Wild Coast. So there we go. A brief but shining history here in the area. So anyway, it is really a pity because I do love that as an adventuring area, but that's just not the way the history went. Who's to say though what will happen if Torosh Mac gets pushed out? The adventurers could have, your PCs could have some role in that. Maybe an alliance between Selene and Greyhawk and Ulick could be made to roll back the humanoids, and then the rebuilding of the towns in the Wild Coast could begin. And Greyhawk might be overextended and not be able to maintain its garrisons there, and they'd have to withdraw. There's all kinds of ways you can take this in a campaign. But I on the other hand, I don't really want to just completely reset everything back to the way it was because that sounds kind of cheap. So, you want to keep the campaign and the situation going forward. You don't always want to look back. So, who knows what could happen in your campaign. So, anyway, hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. I would love to hear if you've done anything with the Pomarge with the Wild Coast in your campaigns. I'd love to hear the stories about it. I had my college campaign was set there and did all kinds of cool stuff in the region before it got nuked. But anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and talk to you all later.
Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.